Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back and thank you for supporting me. I'm Coretta. So in this video, I am going to show you how I made a faux hat patch using heat transfer vinyl. Come on y'all, let's see how I did it. For this project, I will be using Siser Brick HTV, Siser Glitter HTV. I'll be using a trucker hat and my Cricut hat press. You will need a measuring tape, and I'm going to also be using this trucker hat chain. I will leave a list of these items in the description of this video. So here in Design Space, I am going to upload the SVG I want to use to create my hat patch. To upload the SVG, I am going to select Upload on the left toolbar. I'm going to select Upload Image, Browse. I am going to navigate to where the SVG is located. I'm going to select the SVG and I'm going to select Open. This is the image upload screen that shows the image I am uploading. So I'm going to select Continue on the bottom right. This is the image detail screen. I am not going to make any changes here, so I'm going to select Upload on the bottom right. Now that I have the image on the screen, I can take a look at the Layers panel on the right side, and I can see that this image here, the SVG, is grouped together. So I am going to ungroup it so that I can work with each layer individually. To ungroup, I am going to make sure that the SVG is selected, and then on the top of the Layers panel, I am going to select Ungroup. Now that it's ungrouped, I am going to now work with the words and position them how I want them to be positioned. Then I'm going to select both of the words, and I'm going to go to the bottom of the Layers panel, and I am going to select Attached. Next, I am going to add an offset to the words. And to add an offset, I am going to make sure that my words are selected. And on the top toolbar, I am going to select Effects and Offset. And I am going to change my distance to 0.2. And I'm going to hit enter so that I can see that it takes effect. And you can also change your distance by using this slider bar here, but I like to type mine in. Once I finish, I'm going to select Apply. Now I have some holes that are left in my offset that I don't want. And so I'm going to remove them from inside of the offset so that they don't cut. And so that you can see what I am going to be doing, I am going to select my words and move those out of the way. And I'm going to select the offset, and I'm going to change them to a different color. And to change the color, I am going to select the offset, and on the top toolbar next to Basic Cut is Material Color. So I'm going to select this color swatch, and I am going to select white because it is the color of the background that I'm going to be using. And once I select the color, I'm going to click anywhere on the canvas to close this window. Then I'm going to select the offset again, And I'm going to go to the bottom of the layers panel, and I am going to select contour. When the contour window opens, I am going to select hide all contours. And then I am going to select apply. Now that the holes are gone, this is going to be the base of my hat patch design. So next, I want to create a glitter layer. And to do this, I am going to select the offset again. And on the top of the layers panel, I am going to select duplicate. And I'm going to move it over here. So I'm going to move it down here under the flamingo. And with the duplicate still selected, I am going to go to the top toolbar. I'm going to select effects and offset. And I'm going to change my distance to a negative 0.1 because I want my offset to be an internal offset. So I'm going to type in negative 0.1, and I'm going to hit enter to take effect. And I'm going to select apply because I'm satisfied with that offset. I am going to select both of the offsets, and on the bottom of the layers panel, I am going to select slice. After the slice, I am going to select and delete the unwanted pieces, and it's going to leave me with this outline here, and I'm going to turn this outline silver because I want to make it match the silver glitter that I'm going to use. And I'm just going to put it back on top of the base layer. And that is what the base of my hat patch design is looking like. Then I'm going to select my words, and I'm going to change this color to pink. And I am going to position it onto the offset here. So this is the main design patch for my hat. So next, I am going to weld the flamingo because right now the flamingo is in 3 different layers. So it has the hot pink, the light pink, and the black. And I just want the silhouette of this flamingo. So I'm going to select the entire flamingo. And then on the bottom of the layers panel, I am going to select combine and weld. And then I'm going to change the color to pink as well. Next, I am going to measure my hat so that I can determine how big my design should be. Now that I have the measurements, I am going to create a template for my design. And to create the template, I am going to select shapes on the left toolbar. I am going to select a square. And then I'm going to select shapes again to close the window. I am going to change the size of the square to 6.5 inches wide and 3 inches in height. To change the size of the square, I am going to make sure that the square is selected, and on the top toolbar under size, I am going to unlock the lock proportion. I'm going to change the width to 6.5 and hit enter. And I'm going to change the height to 3 and hit enter. And then I'm going to click anywhere on the canvas to close that window. Now that I have my template, I am going to add my layers to the template. And just so that I can see what the design is going to look like, I am going to leave this square black. So I have everything where I want it. And I've also made a duplicate layer for the base because I want it to be thicker than the rest of the layers on the hat. And I also made some duplicates of the flamingo and some hearts because I think I might add those to the brim. So I'm going to delete the template. And I'm going to select Make on the top right. On this screen is the hat patch design on color coordinated mats. The hat design will be cut with heat transfer vinyl, and so I am going to turn on the mirror option for all of my mats. So on the white mat, I'm going to toggle on mirror. For the silver mat, I'm going to toggle on mirror. And for the pink mat, I'm going to toggle on mirror and go back to my first mat. Then I'm going to select continue on the bottom right. This is the material screen to select the material settings that I will be using to cut the material. The white mat, I am using Siser Brick Heat Transfer Vinyl, and so I'm going to use medium cardstock to cut the white mat. For the silver mat, I will be using glitter iron-on because I am going to be using silver Siser glitter iron-on, and so I'm going to use the glitter iron-on material setting. For the pink mat, I am going to be using pink Siser glitter iron-on, and so I am going to be using the glitter iron-on material setting. Make sure that you do a test cut to see what material setting works best for your machine. So I have everything cut out, and an update for the Siser Brick HTV, I ended up using everyday iron-on as my material cut setting. So now I'm going to press the design on the hat. I have my heat press set at 310 degrees for 15 seconds. And I am just going to heat up the trucker's hat just to remove some of the moisture out of it. And so I'm just going to heat it up. And then I am going to place my first layer onto the hat. And this is the Siser Brick. And I'm going to place it. It's not going to be centered, so it's going to be kind of off-centered a little. And I am going to place it here. Let me trim this down some more. So I'm going to trim this closer because it's interfering with the bottom of the hat. So I'm just going to place it down onto the hat. And I am going to use some heat tape so that it can hold it in place because it's not sticky here. So I'm just going to lay it down and then press it. So I have it taped down. Hopefully it stays in place. And I'm going to take the heat press and I'm just going to apply it to that area. And I am going to use some firm pressure and I'm going to press the start button so that it can count down. Okay, so the first layer is pressed. I am going to let this cool because it is a cool peel. And then I'm going to repeat the process for the next layer. So I'm going to peel it for the next layer. And what I'm going to do is I am going to add a second layer of brick on top of it. Now, brick is a top only HTV, but if you're not going to wash the item, then you can layer it on top of each other. And so I'm just going to layer this directly on top of it. And so I got to make sure that I get it exactly on top of it. And again, I'm going to be using heat tape to help hold it in place. So I'm just going to reuse the same heat tape to hold it in place. So again, I'm just going to make sure that I get it directly on top of it. I want it right on top of it. So now that I have it taped down, I am just going to use the press to press it down. And I am going to do 310 for 15 seconds. Okay, so now it's cool and I am going to peel it off. I'm going to go slow just to make sure that I don't lift anything up. Okay. So next I am going to put down the silver glitter. I'm going to put that around the outline. And I am going to press this at 320 degrees for 10 seconds. So I'm just going to put the outline down, making sure that I get it lined up. Okay. And then I'm going to press this at 320 for. So now I'm going to peel this layer. And then I'm going to place down my next layer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get everything pressed onto the hat. And I'll be back once I finish pressing everything on the hat. Okay, y'all, here is the hat. And I think it came out so cute. There is a little dimension here where the brick HTV was double layered here. So there is a little bit of dimension here that the camera isn't really showing. So you can't really see it. But this is the finished hat. And I think that it is so cute. Oh my goodness, this is so cute. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? All right, guys, that's all for now. I hope that you're able to follow along with my process. If you like this video and would like to see more, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and consider subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a video. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I will respond back. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.